Test 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the Goodyear City Council meeting. We're excited to have you be a part of this important public process. Tonight, you will have the opportunity to address City Council on both non-agenda and agenda items. You must fill out a speaker request card in order to address the City Council. The agendas and speaker request cards are located in the back of the council chambers. Please drop your completed card in the tray next to the blank speaker cards. If the meeting has already begun, please hand it to the city employee at the back of the room. You may check the "I do not wish to speak" option on the card. This allows you to let council know your opinion without having to speak. In accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, please contact a staff member if you need any assistance. Public comment on a non-agenda item will take place during the citizen comment portion of the evening. These are items that don't appear on tonight's formal agenda. The city clerk will call your name when it's time for you to speak. At that time, please approach the podium and tell us your name for the record. You'll have a maximum of 3 minutes. The timer is on the screens visible from the podium. Note that you may also choose not to speak if other speakers before you have said what you wanted to say. Shouting, cheering, and loud noises will not be tolerated, and violators may be removed for disrupting the meeting. Goodyear City Council meetings stream live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and online at goodyearaz.gov. Follow the city's social media pages so you don't miss out on all that's happening in Goodyear. Thank you for coming to this meeting and being an active part of your city. And remember, it's a great time to be in Goodyear.
like to call the regular meeting to order for March 2, 2026. Everybody marked present? All here? Okay, thank you. If you would join Councilmember Kano in the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, tonight we welcome you into these chambers as we join with many other voices to pray over our nation and over world events. Whenever we gather, we earnestly pray for the safety and protection of our military, serving locally, nationally, and abroad. We are grateful for those who wear the uniform and give them and their loved ones honor for their sacrifices. Lord, we pray for divine wisdom for our leaders. Tonight, we acknowledge City Manager Wynette Reed's last City Council meeting. She has given her heart and spirit to leading Goodyear well and with integrity. Please be with her as she makes this transition into her next season of life. We ask for your blessings over Goodyear as we make transitions in our leadership. Help us to choose the next city manager wisely. Thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon our city. Bless our fire and police personnel as they work on the front lines every day, serving our residents and visitors. And I ask a special blessing over Mayor and each council member. We pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, now it's time for members of the public who wish to address the city council on any non-agenda items within the jurisdiction of Goodyear. Do we have any speaker cards? Go ahead. Mary Kay, if you just your name, whether you're a Goodyear resident, that's it. You got 3 minutes. They'll tell you when it gets closer there with the thing, okay? Go. No, you don't need the address, just that you're a resident.
I wanted to come before you this evening because I've been a little disillusioned with the trajectory of the city of late. And I reflected back on, I love elections because elections give you hope. You get a new, fresh set of eyes on things. And I was very, very hopeful about what was going to happen in our city with our new candidates. I got involved in that election. I supported those candidates. I had good conversations with those candidates. And what I've seen happen is I understand that new people, you have to sit back and take your time to learn everything. But the time has passed where I think our new people can step up and provide a fresher look at where the city council needs to be going rather than where it's been. I was at a party last night, and first of all, thank you to the city manager for her service. I realize that we hired an outside counsel to elect a city manager 5 months ago, and we have not completed that in a timely manner. Goodyear has a reputation of not getting things done in a timely manner, and having the city manager not have that done in a timely manner of 5 months is a little disconcerting. And I look forward to that process in the future. The other thing of it is at the party last night, it was announced that Goodyear had appointed another interim. So if my counting is correct, that's number 7. I don't believe that you run a good city on interims. That's a lot of people standing around with their hands in their pockets, waiting for direction, waiting for leadership to step up and say, this is where we're going. I think this is a great city with a great future that's standing still, marking time, using interims, and not getting things done in a timely manner. Also, I think maybe after the new city manager gets in place, I think it would be a great idea if you got out of the chambers and got into the city in pairs and started listening rather than giving speeches. For anyone to sit here and say that people in Pebble Creek are happy with the direction of the city is totally wrong. I don't know who you're talking to. There is so much upset about what has happened in our city and what it looks like now in comparison to when I came. You promised me Nordstrom's? I got Buc-ee's. I'm not happy about that. But we can turn this around and do better things with better candidates and a new direction. And I encourage you to get out and do a listening tour, be quiet, and hear what people have to say. Themes are going to emerge. Common ideas are going to emerge, and then from there, take that as a direction of this is where our people in this city who are paying the taxes would like to go. Thank you.
Next.
We can't hear.
Good evening. I'm Jill Burnham, and I am a resident of Goodyear. First, I want to thank Wynette for all that she has done for the city. It was a pleasure working with you. My concern is that it's been 5 months since Wynette announced her retirement, and I haven't seen anything published of what is being done to recruit her replacement, as well as affording her the opportunity to train them. Nobody knows better about what needs to be done than the person in that position. It can be any of you up there, but you're not used to the day-to-day operation as she is. So I'm concerned about that. I also would like to know about what is being done, what is advertisement is being done, how you're doing the recruitment, just more transparency, because as a citizen of Goodyear, I would like to have not only input, but I would like to support this process, and I think I'm being left out. Thank you.
Mayor, I mean, not Mayor, Manager, could you get a hold of that resident and tell her the entire process and where we are right now? Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, Shanna Perry.
Hello, City Council members. For the record, my name's Shanna Perry. I've done some advocacy in the past, and honestly, I thought I was retired from that, and I didn't plan on being here until Real Alloy, the smelt aluminum facilities trying to kill me. Last night was especially bad. I'm sure some of you guys smelt it in here. It is toxic. It's pollution that they're just pushing into the air. And I'm newer to this area. I absolutely love it. It is completely beautiful, and I hope to have Nordstrom. But the bottom line is this: not only is it toxic to our health, which is bad enough, but the property values as this information gets out are going to plummet. I'm here right now recording for my landlord. I got 10 more months on my lease. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of here so I don't have to use a gas mask once a week. But if I knew I was moving to such a beautiful place that potentially is a toxic wasteland if this continues to happen, and I know from my advocacy and government stuff that I've done that you guys have the power to pull their business license. You can stop this immediately. And I believe that Richmond Homes, Lanier Homes, all these builders, lawyers should be where I'm standing right now. So I understand that that facility was approved back in 2015 when there was a lot less of homes and people living here. But now I believe that we need to not only protect the children, the families, our health. I mean, it's a burn pit. Are we gonna sit here and live in a burn pit? I see houses being listed because I'm a new buyer and I was gonna buy here, but now that's definitely not even a topic of discussion. And these houses, I'm seeing them list right now for $250. $250. People are running out of here. There's a reason why there's a bunch of people not living in these new apartments by the ballpark. It's around. It's on YouTube. It's on. People are talking about it. Nick Shirley had one person, one concerned citizen, send him a private message, and that's how that happened. It takes one citizen to do one small thing for that information to get out. And I'm very, very concerned with the people that are invested in this community. I love it here. I want to be able to breathe the clean air. I would love to buy a house here. I'd love to move here. But until Real Alloy stops poisoning us, I don't see how that's possible. And I really, really hope that this council and all you guys with the powers that you have can truly stop this, so I can stay and try to buy a home, and all this new construction is not going to be in vain, and we're not all going to have to run out of here because we can't breathe. If we can't breathe, our politics don't matter, nothing matters. We're all gone. So thank you for your time. Thank you.
City Manager, can you get somebody with the data of who, the regulation, what we can, what we can't do, the authority of council, authority of the city, back to her, please?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you. All right, any others?
No, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. City Clerk, please read the consent agenda items 1 through 6 by title only.
Item 1, approval of minutes. Item 2, approval of budget amendments and related expenditure authority. Item 3, approval of grant pass-through agreement with City of Phoenix for Federal Transit Administration FTA funds. Item 4, adopt resolution number 2026-2510, approving and adopting the City of Goodyear Title VI Implementation Plan dated January 2025. Item 5, adopt resolution number 2026-2511, supporting the submission of 2026 grant applications by Alice Cooper Solid Rock Teen Centers, Las Brisas Academy Parent Teacher Organization, New Life Center, 1 in 10, and Sounds of Autism to the Gila River Indian community, and authorizing the city manager or their designee to execute all documents relating to said applications, and authorizing the city manager or their designee to accept and administer subsequent awarded funds and any amendments thereto as a pass-through grant. And item 6, adopt resolution number 2026-2512, authorizing the submission of 3 public safety applications for 2026 State Shared Revenue Grant Program funds to the Gila River Indian community, authorizing the city manager or their designee to execute all documents relating to said applications, and authorizing the city manager or their designee to execute a grant agreement if grant funds are awarded, and authorizing the city manager or their designee to approve the required budget transfer if grant funds are awarded.
Thank you. Do we have any, let's see, does anybody on the council wish to move on an item from the consent agenda? Seeing none, can I get a motion and a second to approve items 1 through 6? I got a motion and a second. Go ahead and open the vote. Passes 7-0. Thank you. When we have one item on the business to receive an update and provide feedback and guidance on Road Safety Action Program, please introduce yourself for the public.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Steve Cinto, City Engineer, and it's my pleasure this evening to introduce Eric Sessick, our Assistant City Traffic Engineer, and Marta Gerber from Stanley Consultants. They'll be presenting tonight on our Road Safety Action Plan efforts to date and requesting some feedback. So we're not requesting any action tonight, just presenting an update and an opportunity for feedback. So I'll let Eric and Marta get into the take a deeper dive into this, but high level, just a reminder, the Road Safety Action Plan is intended to give the city data-driven guidance and practical options to improve our transportation safety in the city. So right now, we're still in the early stages, and as you may recall, a few months ago, we met with most of the council as part of this community-driven process to really set the goal of what this is intended to be for the city of Goodyear. And so even though it's engineering up here this evening, this is definitely a team effort, and we have our partners from many of other departments engaged, because it's not just about engineering solutions, but also education, enforcement, and those partnerships. Finally, you know, we all know we have a fast-growing city and the many challenges that have come with it, but us as a developing city with a long way to build out, we have the opportunity now to really make things even better earlier on based on the outcome of this Road Safety Action Plan. So before I turn the presentation over, I do understand that some members of council would like to discuss some safety concerns further, maybe in a work session environment, so we'll work with the city manager to get something together after this in April. And so tonight we'll give you an update and ask for feedback, and then we'll get something together in April for that. So with that, I'll turn the presentation over to Eric and Marta, who will take you through the details. Eric.
Thank you, Steve, for the introduction. I'm Eric Sussick, Assistant City Traffic Engineer and the Project Manager for the Road Safety Action Plan. And as Steve mentioned, we're here tonight to provide an update on the Road Safety Action Plan. To start, we're going to start tonight's presentation with a brief project overview, followed by an overview of the Safe Systems approach, which is a national framework and tool used to improve roadway safety. Next, we're going to follow up with a review of the preliminary analysis that has already been completed and some of the ongoing public engagement efforts of the plan. We will then be reviewing the next steps of the project, and then finally we'll be closing with the Road Safety Action Plan goal. This goal is important as it sets the framework for what future strategies we're going to develop as part of this plan, and at that point we'll be asking feedback from Mayor and City Council on that proposed goal. A little background on the Road Safety and Action Plan and how we got here is the 2023 Transportation Master Plan recommended the city apply for a Safe Streets and Roads for All grant to develop a road safety action plan. In 2024, the city received Safe Routes and Roads for All grant from the United States Department of Transportation for $624,000 to help this effort. As part of this application, we included a demonstration project testing out green bike lane materials and placement locations, which you have seen on Indian School and McDowell Road so far. The Road Safety Action Plan is a strategic data-driven effort that uses various data sources, community input, and best practices to establish strategies that reduce roadway fatalities and serious injuries using the safe systems approach. In addition to improving safety outcomes, this project positions the city to compete more effectively at federal and state funding as available. The demonstration project, as we mentioned, is specifically targeting bicycle safety by testing those green bike paint treatments for material and placement along some of our major corridors. At this point of the presentation, I'll be turning over to Marta Gerber from Stanley Consultants to continue this presentation.
Thank you, Eric. Good evening. As Eric and Steve had mentioned, my name is Marta Gerber. I'm a road safety engineer with Stanley Consultants. I'm very pleased to support the City of Goodyear on this very important effort moving forward. It's nice to see you all. Hopefully, maybe some of you remember meeting back in October and November timeframe. Before we get started, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the Road Safety Action Plan and what that actually entails. So at a high level, our Road Safety Action Plan is the city's practical, data-driven roadmap for reducing fatal and serious injury crashes and ultimately preventing them on our roadways. It is guided by the safe system approach, as Eric had mentioned, which I'm going to be talking about on the next couple of slides. The safe system approach is really the idea that people will mistake. We assume that all people will mistake on our roadways. And the transportation system should be designed to prevent those mistakes so that they don't lead to life-changing outcomes. To build a plan, we're going to look at combined crash data to start with and community input. I'll talk about the community input in a little bit on some of the slides. To build a plan, we start with data, where severe crashes are happening, what type of crashes are occurring, and who is being impacted. Then we pair the data with the community information and what the community's perception of safety within the City of Goodyear is. The end result is a clear set of goals, measurable objectives, and that will include engineering, education, enforcement, and policy actions, and so forth. The most important part that you probably need to know about this, that the plan is a living action plan. It's something that's going to guide decisions and investment over time for the city. So why is a road safety action plan needed, and why is this important? So serious injuries and fatalities are preventable, as I mentioned, but they require a coordinated, data-driven approach rather than really like specific fixes to really make a dent in reducing serious injuries and fatalities. It identifies where and why the most severe crashes occur, allowing the city to focus resources on the high-risk network or the locations that are the most important for the city to reduce serious injuries and fatalities. It really provides a clear and prioritized roadmap, as I mentioned, to really make sure that you use your funds the best possible way, whether it's related to engineering, operations, enforcement, or policies within the city. It really shifts the city from a reactive to a proactive method. I'll talk about this when we get to the safe system approach, what that really means. The reactive is really just in the past, the way we manage roadway safety is really looking backwards. Here are the crashes that occurred. What are the preventative measures that we can use to reduce those crashes? Not really considering, especially what Steve had mentioned, you are at the right crossroad right now. You're still growing. You really want to look to the future. What are the things that you can implement in the future to reduce fatalities and serious injuries? It also positions the city to compete for future state and federal safety funding. A lot of those grant applications really require you to have a completed roadway safety action plan to compete for some of those funds. All right, so safe system approach, what does that mean? So it is there are two different approaches. So there's a traditional approach, which is really backward looking, here are the crashes that occurred, and then there's a different approach, the paradigm shift, which is the safe system approach, is very a collaborative effort on making a difference in your reduction of crashes, whether fatal or serious injury crashes. So the traditional approach is really looking at focused domain and preventing crashes through individual responsibilities, looking at making sure that the drivers and bicyclists and pedestrians, they all really following the rules of the road, We all know that's not always possible, and avoid mistakes. Now, the safe system approach is a paradigm shift. It's a comprehensive strategy built around making sure that we do understand that people make mistakes, but we need to all together, whether you're a council member, a planner, an engineer, we need to create policies and engineering efforts to really create a system that's resilient and also prevents serious injuries and deaths. This marks a shift focusing on perfect human behavior to creating a forgiving and resilient system, transportation system, where shared responsibility among everyone, as I mentioned, not just depending on your role. All right, so the project timeline, where we are in the project currently and what has happened. So the kickoff for the project occurred back in July of 2025. We've completed a lot of different things in the last few months, in the last 6 or 7 months. The demonstration project that Eric had mentioned was completed a couple weeks ago. And this is where we are today, the council meeting. Moving forward, we have a number of action items. The safety analysis will continue. I'll talk about a little bit of where we are today and where we are moving. And then the public engagement process during this project is kind of continuous. We had a couple different things that I'll touch on and what are the public engagement processes that are coming up. We'll be back in May. Once we've completed the analysis and a large portion of the public engagement part, we'll come back with some strategies and solutions. For example, any kind of bike lane improvements that we're going to be talking about, any of the ADA recommended solutions that will improve safety, signing and pavement marking changes for corridors and so forth. And then during the summer, we'll be working on developing the complete study, the draft and the final study. And then at the end of the year, we're expected to come back in December for an adoption of the road safety action plan. All right, so I'm gonna go into where we are with the safety analysis and the crash analysis. So I'll move forward a little bit. So in terms of the crash analysis, as I mentioned, that's the first step. We're looking at all of the crash data that occurred, bless you, in within the city of Goodyear in the past 7 years. So the data that you see on the map right now, this is a crash heat map, what we call it. It's 7 years of data between 2018 and 2024. What you see on the map, and there's another map that will come in a minute, any of the light blue areas, those are cooler areas, so you have fewer crashes. Any of the darker, the red and the yellower areas presents a higher concentration of crashes that occurred within the city. So in the past 7 years, there were about 10,000 crashes altogether. Again, that's a 7-year period of time. 59 of them were fatal crashes and 170 of them were serious injury crashes on city roadways. What we see so far from the crash analysis, the hotspot clusters are along North Litchfield Road, West Indian School Road, and North Estrella Parkway. A couple of the intersections are Indian School Road and Litchfield Road, and Van Buren and Litchfield Roads are the ones that are really have a higher concentration. Now, a lot of these corridors are higher traffic volumes, higher activity corridors and intersections, so, excuse me, it makes sense that they have a higher density of crashes. So what we're gonna do with this map, this really only gives us, like at the beginning of the analysis, it gives us an idea of where these crashes are occurring and where the city really needs to focus their efforts in the future. But it's really not telling us why these crashes are occurring and who is involved with the crashes. So those are kind of the next steps in the analysis moving forward. All right, so the demonstration project. So that's part of the road safety action plan. And there are a couple of different corridors you might have noticed because they were implemented, I think, a few weeks ago, pretty recently. So this is McDowell Road near Pebble Creek Parkway. This is what it looked like previously. Sorry, previously before the demonstration project implementation. And then this is what it looks like now. So what you see is really we're trying out a couple different ways of improving safety for bicyclists. They're one of our most vulnerable road users. The green pavement marking is really trying to get the drivers and also the bicyclist attention where the conflict areas are, the highest conflict areas. So if you, thank you. If you look at the map, it's not a solid green line. It's just there are specific locations and specific types of pavement markings that we're trying out for two different reasons, because we're also using a couple different types of paint. One is from a perspective of the public, of which one from a rideability perspective, but we're also looking at which one are the most durable paints that we want to use, which one holds up in high traffic areas and also to the weather. So during this time, we have a public engagement process. We have interviewed some people out on the road. I'll talk about that in a minute. But we're going to be collecting some data between now and September to see how it holds up and which one is by the bicycle public, which one is the most liked in the next 9 months. So the ultimate goal here is to really develop a standard for the city moving forward. What is the standard looks like from a bicycle safety standpoint, a bicycle pavement marking standpoint, and which type paint is going to be used in the future on the roadway. And then ultimately, if the city accepts this and moves forward with the standard, then it's gonna take a while to implement it around the city. All right, so public engagement. So as I mentioned, we have completed a couple of the public engagement cycles. First round was back in December before we implemented the green pavement marking on McDowell Road and Indian School Road. And that was just a simple survey, as you can see in the picture, before everything was included, just to understand what bicyclists perceive safe on our roadways or within the city of Goodyear. We also created a online survey. This is open to everybody. You see your QR code. It's open to everyone on council as well to put in your 2 cents of what you view as safe within the city. And it's also, we also have a comment map so it's a little bit different from the survey. The survey has specific questions on whether you're a Goodyear citizen or what you perceive as a safety issue within the city, where you live, what you like, what you dislike. On the comment map, we have a number of different symbols where you can actually put a little symbol on an intersection or in the roadway corridor with a comment. I really like something, or I really think this is unsafe, this intersection, or there's too many red light runners. Please encourage your constituents to fill out the survey and also comment on the map, good or bad. And then this is really just a preliminary feedback from the survey, and it's listed in increasing order. So speeding was the #1 issue, aggressive driving was #2, and red light running was shown as #3 on the survey so far in this year. And then probably the last one, or the most imminent one, public engagement process, there is the public open house that we're gonna be doing on Wednesday, March 4th. Everyone's invited. Please share the information with your constituents. Everyone's invited. It's at the Goodyear Recreation Center between 6 and 7:30. We would love to see you all if you have time. All right, and then next steps. So we're looking for more detailed crash analysis as we're moving forward to develop ultimately the solutions and the strategies for the city, as I mentioned, and then continued public engagement through March 4th. And then there are a couple other events that are planned moving forward, and then council meeting in May when we're gonna come back. And now I'm gonna turn it back to Eric, who's gonna discuss the road safety action plan goal and wrap us up. Thank you.
Yeah, so we started this presentation mentioning the goal. So this goal will set the framework for the strategies that will come in this plan. This goal is aspirational and is ultimately going to achieve 0 fatalities by a certain timeline. Now, when we developed this goal, we developed it with our technical advisory committee, which includes various city departments. So not only engineering was a part of this plan, but development services, public works, Goodyear Fire, and Goodyear PD were all involved in this process of coming up with this goal statement. Before we turn it over for feedback and questions on this goal, I do want to read the goal and then break it down. So the city of Goodyear is committed to reducing fatal and serious injury crashes by 5% annually, with citywide 0 fatalities by 2045, creating a transportation system where everyone arrives home safely every time. And so when we chose this goal, it is 2 parts. The first part of it is our short-term goal of reducing fatal and serious injury crashes by 5% annually. And ultimately, our long-term goal is to achieve 0 fatalities by 2045. And this applies to whether you're a resident, someone just passing through, or someone who's traveling throughout the city, whether on a motorcycle, car, or bicycle, or even walking. So with that, we will open it up to feedback and questions. Now, tonight, we are not making any action from council. We are only simply asking for feedback and any questions.
Okay, thank you. There's no action, you're right, required for tonight, but I'll open it up for any discussions here up on the dais. Go ahead, Councilmember Kano.
Thank you for the report. Very interesting topic, and it's quite a process, and I appreciate you walking us through all the steps and reminding us of where we are. I have to say, when they started putting the green paint down on McDowell, I was very excited to see that. I've been hoping for this. I know it's a demo project, but I was very excited to see it. I think it's very eye-catching. I think it's a help to motorists and bicyclists, certainly to identify those, as you say, conflict points. And I hope that we'll get some good feedback on that and can have a plan. The safe system approach of looking forward instead of looking backwards, but yet using data is pretty unique, and looking forward to when you come back later with more specific solutions. I can think of a couple of intersections in it. Well, one particular, because I go through it a lot, it's at 145th and McDowell, where if somebody's in the left turn lane across from me, I cannot see oncoming traffic. The way the streets, the design of that, and I think there's other areas where if somebody's in the left turn lane, it blocks the ability to see oncoming cars. And so I would hope that that would be factored in as, it's a potential hazard. I find it to be hazardous because you take your chances or you wait, but I think that would be great to include that. Your preliminary crash analysis is interesting, a lot of hot spots. Definitely we do have a lot of traffic coming through there, but you don't have any preliminary information for causes yet, is that correct? Okay, so that'll be coming, speeding, things like that I'm sure we're going to expect to hear. And I think that your goal is very aspirational. I think it would be certainly an ideal, but it makes me wonder by 2045 what our transportation modes are going to be like. I mean, we all might be traveling by robo-taxi by then, so nobody will be driving, so who knows? But anyway, it's a good goal. Thank you.
Councilmember Terry.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the bike lanes being further clarified. Can you just also clarify for anyone concerned, we're not looking at shrinking the number of lanes of our road traffic. We're not interested in any sort of road diets. This is specifically about making the bike lanes and those conflict points more visible. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Because we're not reducing anything. We're just trying to make them more visible. So when a bike and a vehicle come in that conflict zone, that they're aware that that conflict zone exists and they're a little bit more attention to their driving behavior.
Okay, I appreciate that. Again, I just wanted to get that for clarity on the record. I look forward to the work session coming up. I know there are a lot of intersections, as Councilwoman Kano was mentioning. You know, I see different ones. Everyone does. I know the city manager knows I'm not shy about bringing up concerns day of when they pop in my head. So I do appreciate that. I do look forward to that. Just for anybody watching or anybody who can't make it on, what is it, March 4th? That's Wednesday. What are other ways that they can get their thoughts across to us? I know my email's on the website. If someone wants to email me with concerns, by the time we have our meeting here, our work session, next month or with 4 to 6 weeks, something like that, I will try to pass those along and get those across. But what are other ways for someone to get their concerns addressed or at least brought up?
Yeah, so digital communications has been doing a great job helping us with some of this outreach. And we've been getting comments from them based on social media posts. But the easiest and best way to contact this plan is going to our website with the QR code and then providing your comments there. Those will come directly back to the team to take a look at and to address.
Okay, I appreciate that because not all of us can be in every corner of the city at all times. So there are things that I miss. There's things that everyone misses. So I just encourage folks to let us know any and all issues, concerns, potential problems that they can think of. So thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great start here and very I think, aspirational to get everything down. I like the SMART goal and get it down 5% as well. So it's really important to keep our streets safe for everybody going forward. My question is around, I know we're doing our own study around the paint colors and the paint and how long it's gonna last in the sun. Have we talked to Avondale or any of other peer cities that have already a couple years ahead of us on this, as opposed to doing our own? They might already have the answer to our question, as opposed to going through the research to try to look up more different colors of paint. If they're already working with one if it could be fantastic, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so other cities have done green bike lane treatments before. There are concerns from cyclists that I don't think any city has really captured that we're trying to capture here is, what does that feel like when you're riding your bicycle down the roadway? How does it feel for them? Because some of those bike lane markings get pretty slick as a cyclist, especially after rain. So that's one concern we had here from our residents that we're trying to address with this pilot project.
Okay, so it is different enough than our peers. Okay, and then, yeah, I think that's, I just make sure we're getting the information we can from other places. And then still, I think I'm sure it's in the CIP, you're gonna tell me, but are we still working on making our left turn lanes longer since we switched over from lagging or leading to lagging, leading indicator for turn lanes?
Mayor, Vice Mayor Hampton, there are, in short, yes, we have a myriad of ways that we're looking at that between the CIP and other maintenance-related endeavors.
Yeah, I missed the old way, but I just feel like it's really hard we're not built for that yet. So it's just frustrating when you're trying to take a left turn-hand turn and you see, you could go if it was open, but you're too far back to make the turn. So just want to make sure that we're still taking that into account as well. So yeah, but no, I think it's good. Thank you for all the hard work, and we'll have a lot more discussions on this going forward. So thank you.
Councilwoman Gillis.
I want to thank you for everything you're doing to bring this forward. We were just talking last week about the bike lanes, especially up in Estrella and the problems that they were having up there, they are having. And so I'm really thankful that you're getting on it and we're going to figure out what we can do about it, because we might be able to save some people's lives, and I think that's important. Thank you for all you've done.
Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you. I'm assuming that this is a precursor to us actually doing something on the road, to building it. We're doing this because we got the grant. And now that we've got the grant, in order to continue, we have to have a plan in place, shovel ready to go. So I would hope that this doesn't take too long to put together before we move forward with the Department of Transportation to try to get more money. I am going to be meeting with the Department of Transportation when I'm back in DC later this month, and they're going to ask me what we've done. And I want to be able to tell them that we're moving ahead. I have a couple of concerns, is that I want to be sure that you are reaching every bicycle club in Goodyear, that your notices are going even to the bicycle repair shops, that when the public meeting is, where the survey is, we just can't rely on word of mouth. And while I appreciate you having a QR code, not everybody's going to do the QR code. And I just want us to be sure that we're getting all this information out through our neighborhood services to all of the HOAs, asking them to disseminate it to all of their homeowners, especially those that are having bicycle clubs. Now, some of our residents belong to more than one bicycle club, and it's not necessarily just here in Goodyear. So I would like us to really do an all-court press to get this out. This is really important that we hear from them. They're the ones we're trying to protect. And I have yet to have anybody come in and say much about how they want more safe streets for them to be able to ride on. They just want to be able to ride. And it doesn't matter necessarily what street they're on, but they would like the freedom to do that. So I appreciate y'all putting this together. I'm anxious to see the next step. And I will come back hopefully with some information for you after we figure this out with the staff in DC to see where we are and what our competition is. So thank you very much.
Councilmember Beckles.
Yes, thank you for this information and the action plan. I think it's going to be good for the good and great for the city. My only question is, I didn't see on your map, Australia. I didn't see, it didn't go up that far. Not, I was looking at the other one, but I do see it now on this one. I was looking at this one. Because there have been a couple of fatalities. There've been a couple of fatalities up in Australia. I was just asking about, are we including that area?
Mayor, Councilmember Beckles, it just depends on when those crashes occurred because this period, so the map that you see on the screen is really only looking at crashes between 2018 and 2024.
Oh,
So-
they were in that time period.
We'll look into it. We'll check.
Australia is included. Just the secondary map here that kind of focuses on northern Goodyear. This is where most of our crashes are occurring, but we are looking at going pretty much all the way down to State Route 238 as well.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
it's full inclusive of the city.
Well, thank you for your efforts. I also agree with a couple of council members on here about left-hand turns, on the inability not to see around the corner. So, and again, I don't know all of them, but I'd like to see those addressed throughout the city. And also, from my experiences, there's too much speed, all right, and too much inconsistency, people who aren't courteous to other drivers on the road. So I don't know how you train that, but there's definitely too much speed running through the city. I mean, when they do 1,400 criminal speeding tickets, does that sound about right, Chief? In a year, which means you're going over 20 miles over the speed limit, that's a problem. So I suspect that'll get there. But no, I'm looking forward to your work session. Thank you very much for your presentation and all you're doing. Thank you. All right, next we have a special proclamation recognizing a remarkable milestone and celebrating the retirement of our city manager, Wynette Reed. Following 40 years of outstanding public service tonight is especially meaningful as it is also for her final city council meeting with us. Wynette, would you please join me in the well to be recognized? I would like to invite Janet to come forward and read the proclamation.
Whereas Wynette Reed will retire effective March 6, 2026, concluding a distinguished career in public service spanning more than 39 years in states of Arizona and Colorado. And whereas Wynette has served the city of Goodyear with exceptional dedication since 2011, when she joined the organization as Human Services Director, advancing to Deputy City Manager in 2013, and ultimately being appointed City Manager in February of 23. Whereas under her leadership, the city successfully navigated rapid population expansion through innovative infrastructure investment, sustainable water management strategies, and forward-thinking economic development efforts that attracted major employers. Whereas Wynette led the rapid and successful development of GSQ, spearheaded a successful bond election, a state-of-the-art public safety training facility, and critical transportation improvements, implemented a highly utilized micro-transit program, oversaw the build-out of Goodyear's ambulance service, and established a meaningful partnership with Alice Cooper's Solid Rock Teen Center. Whereas her steadfast commitment to employee engagement fostered a culture that values people across the organization, resulting in exceptional employee satisfaction scores reaching 95%, and reinforcing her belief that engaged employees are at the core of a well-run organization. And whereas through her remarkable career, Wynette has demonstrated unwavering dedication to serving residents, supporting local government professionals, and strengthening the communities she has been privileged to lead. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Joe Pizzillo, Mayor of Goodyear, Arizona, do hereby recognize and celebrate Wynette Reed for her extraordinary service, visionary leadership, and lasting contributions to the city of Goodyear and the local government profession, and extend their deepest gratitude and best wishes for a well-earned and fulfilling retirement. In witness whereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Goodyear, Arizona, to be affixed the second day of March, 2026. And can you please turn your attention to the screen from those who have worked with Wynette over the years.
When I came to Goodyear in 2018, I was incredibly fortunate to have Wynette Reed as my deputy. She was steady, thoughtful, and deeply committed to our community and the Goodyear organization. And 3 years ago, when I left Goodyear, there was no one I was happier to see appointed as city manager, as Wynette was already leading with integrity, confidence, and heart. Wynette, thank you for your leadership, your partnership, your friendship, and the legacy that you're leaving behind, including a Trader Joe's. I'm wishing you a very happy and well-earned retirement.
Wynette, I am so happy for you. It's certainly bittersweet. I remember the first time we met, you were the deputy city manager with Julie, and it was at a West Valley Mayor's Managers meeting hosted at the old City Hall in Goodyear. And right away, I realized you had a heart for people. I could just feel it. And at the time, I lived in Goodyear, so I benefited from the fruits of your labor. But I vividly remember going back to my office and telling our HR director that you were the deputy city manager, and she was over the moon. She said, she's our hero because you came from the HR background, and I thought it makes perfect sense because you put people first. And I'm so happy for you because you deserve to retire knowing that you made the city of Goodyear better. And I can't thank you enough for your friendship.
Wynette, let me say it's been an honor to work with you. As you and I have discussed, this is a competitive business and it's hard to have friends, and you are one. I appreciate my relationship with you. I've enjoyed working with you, and again, thank you for being a friend. I wish you and your husband the best in retirement. God bless you guys.
Wynette, well, this is an exciting time, and I'm honored that I was given the opportunity to say thank you for your service and your time here. I can tell you that the Avondale City Manager Support Group, the West Valley support group, when we get together monthly to talk about all the great things going on in the West Valley or maybe some of the challenges. That meeting won't be the same without you. Your smile, your calmness, your advice, you're going to be missed. One of my favorite things to say is, let's leave the world better than we found it. Let's leave it better than we found it, whatever your it is. And in this case, I want to say thank you for leaving Goodyear, the West Valley, public service, and especially the city managers that share a common thread over here in the West. You're leaving us all better than you found us, so thank you. I hope you enjoy this next stage in your life. Congratulations, and you won't be soon forgotten.
Wynette, congratulations on your retirement. After 40 years of public service, and especially the 14 years here at Goodyear, you've certainly left a mark not only on the city, but also on the valley. There's no one more deserving than you. We appreciate all that you've done for our development, for our city, and the continued growth that Goodyear is going to continue to have. Goodyear is an amazing city. It's pro-growth, it's positive attitude, wanting to be better. You've encapsulated all that in all the work that you've done here with you at the top and then all your colleagues below you. You've inspired so many people to perform at the highest level and to work as hard as they can to make this community as good as it is. Selfishly, I wish you were staying on. I'm going to miss you here at Goodyear and all the work you've been able to help us with this beautiful downtown, with the GSQ development. And I know it's time to retire, and I know you want to retire, but you'll continue to see our progress and all the work that we've done to make this community even better for the residents. Congratulations again on your retirement. I'm going to miss you. I know many of us are going to miss you, but I know you'll be happy in your retirement years, and I hope you get to enjoy them for as long as you can. Congratulations again.
Wynette, although I haven't known you for a long time, I'm grateful for the time that I did have with you as a mentor. In that short window of time, I got to experience firsthand the person that I'd heard so much about. You're kind, you listen deeply, and you encourage others to grow. You have a special way of seeing potential in people, even when they don't see it in themselves, and then you gently push them towards it. The City of Goodyear is lucky to have you as a city manager. Congratulations on your well-deserved retirement.
Wynette, it's been a fun 12 years of trying to keep you on your toes, and it's been good. It's been great working with you, and thank you for bringing me to the city of Goodyear. You've shaped a lot of who I am as a person today in my career, and you've always given me tough love, tough talks, and you're funny. You're very funny too. And Bob Hope is an airport, it's not a person. So I just got to remind you that. But I just really appreciate all you've done, not just as a boss for me, but as like a friend and just being a real human. And I'm going to miss that about you. But hopefully I don't have to miss you too long, because hopefully you're not going too far. So just really excited for your retirement, but better stay in touch.
We also have a plaque there for you. I mean, it's been an honor working with you as an employee, because remember, I retired as the budget manager many moons ago and as the mayor. But what I really enjoy is how you've been pushing the culture of our city to make us the top, in my humble opinion, one of the top employers in this valley. And why do I say that? Because every time I'm doing the employees orientation every month, I get a variety of people coming from different cities that want to work for us. And that's a direct reflection of you and your management team. Also pushing the surveys out there to make sure that culture stays strong throughout the city. That's you and your HR background. And I also appreciate how we do our surveys every couple of years to make sure we're trying to do the best. There's always room for improvement. But when we have 95% of the people that survey, that feel safe in their neighborhoods, or 90% of the people that would recommend the city of Goodyear the place to live, that tells me you're doing a great job. You're going to be sorely missed. And I know we've got some interviews coming up Friday, but it won't be the same when you're gone. So again, now if you can keep the tears back, your turn.
Well, I think I've said it many times, but just want to reinforce to Mayor and Council, thank you for your support, for believing in me, and employees, thank you. You are the heart of this city, and I didn't do this alone. You were there with me every step of the way, and I love you. I know you're going to go on and do great and wonderful things because you're Team Goodyear, and you don't know any other way. So thank you for your support and your hard work, and I will always look at this time in my life fondly and remember it as one of the biggest honors of my professional career. Thank you.
Anybody right now like to say any parting stuff? Go ahead.
I want to thank the ladies who came in here tonight to address the interim conversation that was never heard last Monday, and one being from Pebble Creek. The conversation was important to get out, and since it didn't get out because it wasn't recorded, I appreciate them coming in here and making that clear. It was stated last week, disappointment, as well as former council members that were a part of that conversation when I brought it forward, and it was nothing of the kind. It was simply people in this city asking me questions that needed to be brought forward, that needed to be answered, and that's what we did. It's a shame that it was not recorded, and I've had several people, as I'm sure everybody saw online what was going on in people's comments. It was simply bringing the people's voice to us ahead of time. I found it interesting. We did ask about this so that people out there know it was a tech issue. It was due to technical difficulties. And I find it interesting that we just in the fall paid $75,000 to $150,000 to redo that room, so there would be no technical issues. And I believe 247, number 4. I think you could direct any questions you had to the city manager's office because I had to look it up. I did not know. Tonight you could not see out there in TV land, but there was a technical issue. Somebody did not push their microphone on and somebody was able to do something as simple as come up and push it on when one of the ladies was speaking. So I don't know what's going on, but I wanted to address this because I know there was a lot of people that were very unhappy that they could not hear what was going on at that meeting. They felt dismissed. These are people of our city that pay our taxes and our salaries. So that is what I have to say on that. I want to thank the ladies again for coming forward to give their feeling on that. And as always, I welcome everyone's comments regardless of what they feel we want to hear or don't want to hear, because it should always be brought before this city. It is your city. We are here serving you, and you put our butts in these seats. So thank you for your voices, and I will always listen to what you have to say.
Well, go ahead, Councilmember Terry.
Okay. Getting back to the last item briefly, I did want to thank City Manager Wynette Reed. While you are probably my least favorite city manager I've worked with, you are also my favorite. It's stiff competition. Yes, for anyone watching, she is the only one. But no, just the relationship, the openness, as I alluded to before, I don't hesitate bringing a concern. I don't wait for a meeting. So I create them, and usually just by walking into your office. But yeah, I appreciate that openness. And I know coming from a school board to here, having that sort of communication relationship with the top executive is so vital, and it's a must. So I can't thank you enough there. And since we are on just the reports for anything, I know Mary Kay left. I've known her for several years. I texted her a little bit ago, and we had a conversation this weekend. And I checked with the city attorney, but as kind of an update, I can let folks know that within a couple days to a week on the city manager search, we have moved literally as fast as legally possible. From the announcement in late October to needing an RFP and not an RFQ, that requires a 30-day process and a 10-day challenge period as well, which got us to early December. We were able to select the consultant before our last meeting of the year, which was our last meeting right before Christmas. Within 2 days after New Year's, I believe the subcommittee was meeting with the consultant, and within a week, we had it posted. And that posting also requires 30 days. Now that gets you to mid-February. Last month, the subcommittee got us down to our short list of interviews, which are happening this week. So within a week to a few days, we have moved literally as fast as legally possible. And, you know, as was addressed, I wish we did have that recorded last week. I'd be happy to do it again, because anytime someone asks, it has been extremely intentional. I know there's a broad consensus by this council that any interims will be filled by the new city manager, and we hope to have that done as soon as possible. It gets expensive, and I think it's ill-advised to fill an interim when the top person is about to change. So I look forward to interviews this week, and hopefully we can get someone selected ASAP and get us fully staffed and that transition complete. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Yeah, also I just want to say thank you to Wynette as well for all you've done. I've worked with you for 9 years now or longer, so just seeing you progress through the ranks and everything, and then all the different awards and things like that, helping us grow as a city and taking over from Julie and being able to shepherd our city forward, I think was very important especially during the time that you were there. So thank you for all of that as well. And like I said, and like Trey mentioned, we'll be trying to find a replacement here. We hope to find the best possible, but I really appreciate all your hard work and leading us and getting things like Trader Joe's and all the other economic development success that we've had, all the other new awards that we've, like I said, we've gotten with employees and departments and things like that as well. So thank you for your tenure. I appreciate you and looking forward to your, say congratulations for your retirement. So well earned, well deserved, and yeah, thank you.
Councilmember Kano?
All right, back to this topic of Wynette. I love what Ray has said about being a hero to HR people everywhere, because it really can be very hard to break through up to that level. And that consideration, that focus on the people that you've brought has just been so rich. The city is on a great trajectory. When you came in, I mean, certainly the major growth, and you have a great team of technical people, but it's that heart and that human element that you really accelerated in. And I've loved all of our conversations, and would like to continue to have coffee once in a while. Sure, might be a few things to talk about, but anyway, you've done a great job. You've served very well. Thank you.
Councilmember Beckles?
Yes, I made several comments at your going away, so I appreciate that. I want to, you are my only city manager that I have been on council with, so my little 1 year has been an outstanding year. I appreciate you, and the thing I just want to say is the people have come back, and the people meaning the employees, have always said how much you've changed the culture for the better and how much they've appreciated it. So thank you for everything you've done for the city of Goodyear. Enjoy your retirement, and we all look forward to our next steps in coming and going through our process of hiring a new city manager. We know that we're on track for that. Thank you.
Councilmember Campbell?
Well, Wynette, I've said all I can say, but I've got a few more to add. You're my 5th city manager. Aren't I lucky? But you're the best one so far. But I appreciate you having your open door policy. I never, ever, ever asked to see you or walk in that you didn't have time for me, regardless of what was on my plate. And I just thank you so much. And I really appreciate your outreach to get to know our employees one-on-one, department by department. That was just so critical. They knew who you were from you being a deputy for 10 years, but they did not see you, or they had not had the opportunity to work at the level you were now as the city manager. And I think the employees themselves, they feel valued. They feel like they have a friend. They feel like they can come to your open door too. And I just hope that culture continues, because it's very difficult to redo a culture, but you've done a wonderful job. And I thank you for that very much. And I was going to tell you one more thing, but I've already forgotten it. So we're going to miss you, Wynette.
Again, you know, as I mentioned earlier, this isn't a one-off, you know, it's a team effort. You've brought together a great management staff, a great team around you. And I can speak for myself, I can't speak for everybody else, but I don't know of anybody who's out more in the public than I am, okay? I'm everywhere. In fact, I was reading to kids today at one of the high schools, one of the grade schools, all right? And I'm telling you, everywhere that I'm hearing, they love what you've done. Okay. Now, again, if 9 out of 10 people like the city, well, there's 10% that don't. So again, you can't please everybody, but I'm going to try. All right. But with that, that's from your help, your thing. You did that. Okay. And the safe in the home, safe in the neighborhood, that's not just done automatic. It's all the people that you put around you. So I'm going to say to all the employees out there, to this council, to the department heads, you've done great work. And you should be very proud of what you've done in this city. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and the next meeting. Oh, what first? Manager, you got something? Okay, let's see what she's got. Okay. Well, hold on. Well, on the manager, you got something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I know we just did, that was the,
Turn your mic on.
that was the communication, so now we're going to information items. So yeah, just talking about what we did during the week. Spring training, fantastic. That was a great time. Spring training was an exciting time of year. Then went to opening day of Little League in Goodyear too. There had been a lot of families there. So that was a great event as well. So just talking about things that have gone on. I'm looking for the numbers. I'm sure we have some numbers for those kind of events as well. But just wanted to talk about that also. So now I'm ready to move on to the what you have. So thank you.
Okay, we will have the numbers for the Little League this Friday in the manager's memo, but I think I heard there were like 1,000 kids
I
running
heard
around.
1,020 kids.
Yeah, just amazing, and most of them were Goodyear kids, so
I was
that's
told
that's good news.
95%.
Not good news, so that's all I have.
All right, ready? With that, next meeting is March 9th, 2026. A vote will be held to call an executive session for the following pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A3 for legal advice and consultation with the city attorney regarding the modification of designation of our assured water supply, impact of the DAWS on water services in Rainbow Valley, the legal analysis of Bureau Reclamation's draft environmental impact. Can I get a motion? And a second? Got a motion and a second? All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and get into executive session. We're going to go back in that room back over there.
Mayor, can we go ahead and
Excuse
open
me,
the vote?
Vote. 7-0, thank you. Back over in the corner there, where we usually go.
Okay.
To the corner.